Good morning, y'all. Shade Tree Joe, wishing you all a happy new year. Welcome to 2023 from Central Oklahoma. I'm going to go over a few projects that are in the works for 2023. Give you all a quick update as what the plans are, see what we're going to get going. Behind me you can see Willys Nelson, and that's hopefully going to go ahead and make some ground coverage this year. We're going to go ahead and get some progress going on that. Show you what the plans are for that and a few other little tidbits. It's kind of a teaser, I guess. So we'll get going. Okay, so when I bought Willys, the initial plan was to go ahead and put a TJ chassis underneath there. I wanted coil springs to all four corners, get a nice ride out of it. And realistically, TJ chassis are through the stinking roof. They are stupid expensive. If you can just buy a rolling frame, people want at least $1,000 for them, and that's ridiculous. So I went with Plan B, and here we are. This, my friends, is going to be Plan B. It's a 1989 Ford Ranger extended cab chassis, and we're going to go ahead and shorten this up to match the 104-inch wheelbase. Yeah, it's got leaf springs in the back, and apparently somebody went ahead and stacked a couple of blocks under the back end of it because, I don't know if you can see that or not, maybe from that side. Okay, so they went ahead and they added, looks like 3 inches to the factory 2-inch. So, we're gonna go ahead, come on, shrink down. We're going to fix that to match the lifted springs on the front. Get some decent leaf springs on the back, hopefully something soft ride. And I'm thinking maybe a GM 4.3 V6, 700 R4 automatic, and a 241C transfer case. That'll work with the driver's side drop. So that's the plan. That's what I think we're going to go ahead and try and do with this. I want something that I can enjoy driving around, daily driver type stuff, and I think that would be a pretty decent combination. You know, I'm not looking for a crawler. I'm not looking for horsepower and go fast and smoke the tires and all that. I just want something I can play with. I think this will work out nice. And as you can see, we are still making progress on getting the shop expanded, so I can go ahead and get that enclosed up. We'll go ahead and tie it into coverage over the shipping container, and so that will give me, the shop itself should end up being, let's see, what was it, give me 45 by 30 under the slab itself, or on the slab itself. And then I'm gonna go ahead and probably rock that in for a parking area. Like I said, that'll be covered all the way over, so it'll be covered parking. And at some point over here, I'll go ahead and do an addition, more covered storage, probably rock as well. So we'll get all that going, and we'll actually have someplace decent to work. Another project for 2023 is to get Kimmy's Jimmy on the road. This guy picked up last year, about midway through the year. It's set with the engine open, so the engine's probably garbage. I'm going to go ahead and probably run some vinegar down the cylinders, go ahead and make sure it frees up. See if I can't go ahead and get it to turn over and just fiddle fart around until I go ahead and swing in a decent motor. But it should be good. I got some rust repairs to do. Fender isn't too bad on this side. Definitely a cab corner back here. A little bit of rust repair back here on this wheel well. Let's see, tailgate's not bad. Got a new front bumper for it at the swap meet. So nice straight one with the push pads on it. This side is pretty decent. I don't have any rust issues in that fender. This cab corner looks pretty good. A little bit of rust blister there at the bottom, at the very bottom. Yeah, it's gonna need a little bit of repair work. Same with the bottom of the door. Rocker's gonna need replaced. And this fender, we'll go ahead and end up replacing that one as well, because somebody crunched it into a ditch, which is why the new front bumper. But all in all, It's a pretty good, pretty solid truck. 350 combination, two-wheel drive. So it'll be a nice little runner for Kim to run around in. Okay, and for those that don't know, haven't been following it, LMC Truck is sponsoring The Gathering in Norman, Oklahoma, which isn't too far down the road from us. And so realistically, I'd like to get Kimmy's Jimmy up and running, but I don't think that's going to happen just yet. And I haven't registered it. So I haven't registered the truck for that event, and registration is due by March 1 if they don't go ahead and sell out first. And it's going to be capped out at 500 trucks. And I don't see it happening. I don't see that one being on the road ready to drive up there by March 1st, so I'm going to save the money on that one. However, I am going to take Ethel. I've got a few things to do to Ethel, and I think I can get some of that done, if not all of it, before the I think it's April 15th event. So anyway, check out The Gathering, sponsored by LMC Trucks, for more information on that. There's folks coming in nationwide. There's some perception that it is just a Chevrolet event or a GM event. It's not. Basically any truck, I think it might be under like 2000 or something like that. Heck, it might be under 1990 something. Anyway, check it out for the final details on that. It's going to be at Lander Chevrolet off I-35 at Norman, and they'll be coming up this April. Okay, for Ethel, first of all, I got to fix that stupid wiper on the passenger side. I think the nut on the wiper trunnion, transmission, whatever the heck you want to call it, I think that thing came undone, or loosened up a little bit, and so the trunnion's turned. And I'm gonna have to go ahead and fix that. It should be a pretty simple fix. I think I'm gonna go ahead and take just a little bit of metal off the trunnion just to make sure that that nut's got something decent to bite into. Or not the trunnion, the bezel. I'm gonna take a little bit of metal off of that and give me a little bit more thread. Anyway, so I'm gonna get that fixed. The biggie for this, actually two biggies for this year. Number one, I've got a set of EQ cylinder heads that I picked up a few years back that I've been sitting on. These things are the original New Zealand casting EQ heads, the good ones that nobody can find. And I got lucky and just found a set on Marketplace. Actually, maybe it was Craigslist. That was Craigslist. Anyway, I found those. I got lucky with them. They're ready to bolt on. I just need to get off my butt and do it. And so I've got to do that. And I've got a 46 RE that I've been meaning to put in. Supposedly it's built and ready to go. Looks like I probably need, well, for safety's sake, I'll put a new torque converter in it, and I will put a new front seal in it just to make sure I don't have to go ahead and dig back in it and mess around with it. Once it's in, it should be drivable. It's still running and driving on the 46 RH right now, but it'd be nice to have it all up and running for that. And I think I can get all that done before April, especially if the weather cooperates. Right now, believe it or not, here in Oklahoma, it's almost 70 degrees on January 1st, which is amazing. It's a blessing in and of itself. So, hopefully, without much further ado, we'll get into that project. And yes, I did go ahead and get Ethel registered for The Gathering, so we will be there. Should not be any issues at all, unless weather becomes a factor or something like that, which, I mean, it's April, so anything's possible here in Oklahoma. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a fun event, just to go ahead and get out and about. Anyway, that's just a brief rundown as what the plans are for this year. I'm sure there's going to be more. I still want to go ahead and get the air conditioning done in Ethel, and that's also in the works. Hopefully before summer gets here. That would really be nice. But one thing at a time, and you know, it's as time and money permits. That's how these things go. But yeah, hopefully by next fall, the shop will be at least be enclosed enough. I've got some place to work in where I won't have to worry about the weather so much. But yeah, you know, little things here and there. Lots of projects, just time and money, it's all it takes, right? Anyway, Happy New Year all. Y'all be safe, be good to each other, and we'll see you on the next go around.